Girls v Bears? It's our first game ever. Tap screen to start duffing up bears. Check them out. Let's see what this game is about. So you beat up these dogs. So there's Simon the dog, and there's a mushroom there, and there's a bear. Looks like he's about to pick potatoes or something. Alright, let's pick Simon. So this is the original game that Simon the dog was in. I suspect that no one actually knew that because this game was, well, to be honest, we forgot to set the category in the App Store so no one could find it. You tap left and right on the screen to beat up these robot dogs with nunchucks. You have a couple hit points on top there. There's a score. If you get hit 3 times, it's game over. If you get to the end of the level, I think you get your HP back. There we go. And now I'm on a taxi, beating up even more dogs. That's about it. This is our first game. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. And I died. Well, here's Barrett Eisley, the puzzle game that really saved our butts. See, on the back of a bus I had this idea about shuffling these colourful balls. And then what happened was we made a really cute version of that instead because, you know, bears and fat guys with moustaches is much more cute than just a bunch of balls, right? Anyway, it turned out that this game was pretty popular, so we could keep going. So after Paradise did quite well, we kept going on with puzzle games because Girls v Bears was a flop. Puzzle game wasn't a flop. Let's make another one. So here we go. We made a brand new, I think it's called Shanghai Tiles. That's the name of the mechanic where you link these 2 bears together. And of course we have a story as well. Yeah. And then there was Paradise 2, which was the first time we ever did 2 players on the same screen. And we got featured. That's about it. Now by this point you can kind of tell that we're going slightly crazy. Maybe too many bears.
Percy! Down here!
Mr. McDougal?
I got away. It's a trap. We better hide quickly. First night, they came and took 3 of us. 2 days later, they took 8 more from the woods.
It's a pretty fun swap 3 puzzle game, I think. But by this point, I was having nightmares about bears. So after getting completely burnt out doing bears, we decided to take a pretty successful Flash game that Quack was doing called Co-op Toon Shooter. And we took this whole idea and put it onto an iPod Touch, actually. It wasn't even a phone. So here it is. Toon Shooter's Rise of the Fleet. This game was quite a breakthrough for us because it was the first time we did relative touch controls. You know, the one where you put your finger down on the screen and you just move a bit and your character you can kind of go everywhere on the screen. And at the time, this was around 2012, it wasn't that popular, that control. But mobile phones are the perfect fit, really. This is also when we went back to doing arcade games for the first time since Girls v Bears. In the end, this game was just really popular, and it was the first time we felt like we had a real sense of direction. Oh man, this game is so cool. This was our first try at making a kind of a hack and slash brawler. Except we have the setting in a more fantasy universe, because I think you can do a bit more crazy stuff. You know, you can have like dragons and demons and fat guys with stripy trousers. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense because you're in a fantasy universe. Cool thing about this game was the controls from toon shooters actually work really well. You know how it's kind of 3D, you know, you can walk up and down, left and right. Really smooth. I just really enjoy this game still. Well, here's Blackmore. One of the main goals of this game was two things, I think. One was to see how far we could push the combat. Because even though Maximus had quite satisfying combat, there was only so much you can do in that 3D perspective. So, you know, in Blackmore you could duck, you could jump, you could block stuff. It was more of a Street Fighter experience. And it was quite fast as well. It was a bit faster than Maximus. And then the other thing that was kind of cool was the whole story. And we had the whole story planned right from the beginning, which gave the game a lot more structure, I think. It's a bit strange that this game, you know, financially didn't do that great, but there was so much feedback this time, and we had a lot of people contact us and just tell us how much they enjoyed this particular title. So we felt pretty damn good about it. We tried the genre of team combat with Superboys, because, you know, by this point we had good guys, bad guys, new guys. Must have had at least 70 of them total. So we thought it was kind of cool if we just put them all together in a game and tried some kind of a mix of Street Fighter and Smash Bros. I think it worked out. You know, if you look carefully in the background, you can see that mushroom from Girls v Bears. Not that it matters, but whatever. So this is Dungeon Time. Up to this point, we've been doing 2D games for around 4 years. So to jump into 3D was completely scary, because I mean, for me, I'd never even touched a 3D program before. So as you can imagine, there was like a lot of mistakes made and a lot of learning. I think I had to sink in at least 8 hours a day, just trying to learn the shortcuts and how to model really simple things and do it efficiently as well. It was also the first time we tried this kind of random map generation, and it turned out to be a little more tricky than planned, but hey, it's learning, right? Smash Globe. As you can see, we tried to improve the 3D presentation. We tried to make everything a little more clean compared to Dungeon Time anyway. And maybe the coolest thing for me was I managed to come up with this new technique of painting models in Flash, which is why everything in this game looks a bit more cartoony. One of the funny things is that we almost finished this game, but we had to take a break, and during that break we went away and made this game instead. Of course, the great achievement in Toon Shooters 2 was to finally get the online multiplayer working, and at the same time improve the engine and the 2D and the 3D skills. And there's just all this stuff that you learn when you're making games, and every single year you keep getting better and better and better. At least that's the idea. So this is where we are now with Blackmore 2. It does feel kind of crazy looking back over just over 7 years, just to see how far we've come. You know, if you look back at the very first game that we did, and then you look at some of the stuff that's coming out in Blackmore 2, it's just crazy. I can't even imagine what we're going to do in the next 5 years. Well, it should be kind of cool. Thanks for listening if you're still here. I really appreciate all of you if you've played our games and support us, or you share our games or whatever. Thanks a lot. It means a lot to us. You still here? Alright. I'm out of here.